Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. My name is Curtis Hendershott. I am your host on HSFAflag.com podcast. Today, I am joined by a very special guest. His name is Sean Elliott. Sean Elliott is the executive director of the Great Lakes Flag Football League out of Ypsilanti, Michigan. Sean, thank you so much for joining us. Why don't you begin and tell us a little bit about yourself and what sparked your interest in flag football?
First of all, Curtis, I just want to tell you, thank you very much for having me. This is truly, an honor, great experience. I've always wanted to get involved in podcasts and be part of one. And so this is, for me, this is, pretty exciting. So to kind of give you a little bit of my background. So I've been involved with NFL flag for about approximately 16 years now. I started as a result of my ex-wife had came to me and said, "Hey, you want to get the boys involved in flag football?" And I had played flag football myself quite a bit from a competitive and recreational standpoint when I was in my early 20s. And so this was something that I thought was pretty exciting. So at the time, my boys were at that time, they were like 4 and 7 going on 8. And now my older boys are now, in fact, my baby boy is going to be 20 tomorrow. My older son is 23. He'll be 24. So I got started when they were, very young. And so I coached them, Curtis. Actually, I'll take that back. The first year when they played, I was just like a dad. I was a dad only. I wanted to kind of observe. I didn't want to be that dad that was out there yelling. I wanted to kind of just observe, just to kind of see if this is something that we wanted to pursue. So the first year, sat back is just a dad. Then the following year, I decided that I wanted to coach. So I started off as an assistant coach for a year. And then the following year, I became a head coach. And from that point forward, it just took off. I coached both of my sons and we started getting involved in tournaments. And when my sons aged out, I continued in the flag football world, Curtis, by I continued doing some coaching, but I was doing a lot of officiating. And then I had started thinking about wanting to start my own league in my area. And so basically I started my own league in the Belleville, Ypsilanti township area as a result of my boys being aged out. And I had such a passion for wanting to help out young people. And I felt there was a need for flag football in this area, which there was. And that's basically that's really was my motivation. And honestly, besides that, I not only wanted to do something to give some kids something to do other than just playing video games, because we all know, kids like to play video games, and I wanted to get those kids out the house. But I also knew at the time that I knew that girls was going to be taken off. I had seen some things on the writing on the wall, and I wanted to kind of be on the forefront of that. And so that's basically where we're at. I started my league fall of 22, and 3 years later we're doing pretty well.
It's awesome. So you've been around a long time, so you have some great insight, and that's one of the many reasons that I really wanted to be able to talk to you. Thank you so much for sharing that. Again, we're joined by Sean Elliott. He's the executive director of Great Lakes Flag Football. Beyond the game itself, you mentioned it with the youth. What do you feel the youth involvement in a league like yours does for them off the field, and how does it help them learn key life skills?
That's a great question, Curtis, and I appreciate you asking that. I think it not only builds their confidence, but it also can not only builds confidence, but I can tell you from personal experience, my sons both have friends that they established when they played flag football early on, and they still maintain some of those friendships. To give you a prime example of the impact that flag football has had on me and others, there's a young man that I started coaching him when he was 8 years old. He just graduated from one of the local schools in Plymouth nearby, and his family came to me and just told me the impact that I had on their son's life in terms of just being an additional role model for them. And now I keep in touch with that young man. He's going off to college. In fact, he's going to be going to Bowling Green in Ohio, and ironically, he's also one of my officials. And when he comes home, he'll be able to come and work for me. But to kind of go back and elaborate more, I believe off the field, in addition to that, it can build some amazing life skills in terms of, I believe the skills that they can learn while playing flag football transcends into everyday life, such as being able to deal with adversity, deal with with people of different backgrounds, from personalities. Also builds team building as well. There's a lot of things outside of flag football as a result of playing that can help you when you're not playing this amazing game.
Excellent. Now we'll get back to the field for a little bit because I know that our passion is absolutely the football, and you had kind of touched on it. The growth in women's and girls flag football. Obviously, we're not a sanctioned state yet here in the state of Michigan. That is a goal. We want that to happen. Multiple states are beating us to the punch. I think we just got beat by the state down to the south of us, and that doesn't sit
Yeah,
well with people
absolutely.
here in Michigan,
Yeah,
I'm sure.
not at
Could
all.
you speak to a little bit about how you see this going in Michigan? Obviously, we have a little bit of a start. We have pilot programs. The increase in teams year from 23 and on has been substantial. And this year, there will be a lot more teams. When do you think we'll see this in the state of the Michigan become a varsity sanctioned sport? And do you have any plans of helping it?
Yes. So I believe it will be a sanctioned sport within the next 1 to 2 years. And I am involved with it as well. Ironically, myself and one of the coaches for my exact league, we coached the pilot program at Belleville High School back in the spring, and we were part of that. And it was just an amazing experience. In fact, I'm still involved with that as we speak outside of running my league. And from my understanding, Curtis, I believe that if the per MHSAA guidelines, as you know, as Michigan High School Athletic Association, I believe that if you have 64 teams, you would be eligible to have it as a sanctioned varsity sports. And I believe back in the spring, there was approximately 41, 42 teams. So I do believe it's continuing to grow. Every time I look around, I'm seeing, I've even seen an increase in girls in my league. In fact, on my website and anything that I promote in my league, even though we're a co-ed league, I actually list the girls first. I state that we're a co-ed league, girls and boys, because I'm really I'm very committed to helping promote the sport. I'm involved with it at the high school level. I'm constantly talking about it because I believe that if you have girls will have an impact on the boys, because if you have a home and you have a girl and a boy, because of the big push to get more girls involved, Curtis, I believe that if you get one sibling, you'll get the other. So if the boy plays, I think it's going to turn around and get the girl to play, and and vice versa. And the opportunities for these young ladies is just going to be unbelievable. And as you probably Siena Heights was the first state in Michigan to have a program. Unfortunately, with the net news about them closing next year, that was sad. But we also know that there will be other schools that will be opening up doors for girls flag football, because there's going to be so many opportunities for scholarships and whatnot. So I this thing is just going to continue to grow. And the beautiful thing about this is that because of the NFL really helping pushing this with NFL flag, and the fact that they have really made it a priority to get more girls involved, and especially with the surge and how they restructured the NFL flag championships, which I thought that it was a smart move to make it have a summer championship in the summer in Canton, Ohio, which is not far from anyone that's in Metro Detroit. You have your fall and your spring, regional winners go compete in the summer. And by doing that, I think that was a smart move by NFL flag by doing it, because what it allows at that point, I think it just gives more opportunities for girls to be involved in this amazing sport. And then obviously with the coverage that has been received through ESPN and whatnot, it's just going to continue to grow.
Yeah, absolutely valid points, and I think that as the girls' sport grows, they're going to go further in age in this than the boys. The boys are mostly transitioning, and most of our coaching philosophies, I'm sure yours is, once they're moving on into the tackle world, they're kind of leaving us and aging out. But the girls are here to stay, and they're a very, very important part of the every one of the leagues, not just yours for that matter. Not to get off of the girls subject, but I don't want to take up a whole lot of your time. And I've got two more things that I really wanted to cover. And you had brought up right there about the NFL flag tournaments. You have the team. I think the last time I saw you actually was at the Detroit Lions regional, and we had faced your team, the Stealth. You guys have done multiple competitive tournaments. Why don't you tell me a little bit about how you guys prepare strategically and mentally for tournaments like the NFL Flag Championship tournament series?
I'll be happy to answer that for you. We started our travel division last fall, so it would have been fall of 24. Prior to starting that, we had we had went to tournaments, we did decent, but then we wanted to come. And what happened was, Curtis, is that when we started going to tournaments, we would take competitive players, and then we would also take other players, but what we were not being as selective. So we noticed that in order to become more competitive, we decided to do a tryout philosophy, and I did that based off of talking to multiple organizations. I spoken with the Toledo Dirty Birds. I'm very friends with Scott Schultz, the director for Toledo Dirty Birds. I spoke with Matthew Smith from Brave Performance. I spoke with just multiple people who have had successful tournament teams, and they gave me a lot of advice. And so we came up with a concept, and our travel division, which is separate from our recreational division, is called Stealth. And Stealth is our travel division, and that's our competitive division. And we just did another round of tryouts, and the goal of that is to you want to have competitive athletic kids who meet the type of player that you're looking for because of the nature of the competition. But more importantly, Curtis, you have to have kids that are not only coachable, but you also have to have parents who buy into it. Because if you don't have the support of your parents, it's going to affect your kids. And you also want to have kids that basically meet the type of player that you're looking for. So for example, we have core values within our league, and we have four core values, which is have fun, teamwork, sportsmanship, and family values. And those are the core values of not only of our league, but those transcends into our stealth program as well too. So we want kids who can handle adversity because of the competition, but we also have to have players and parents who are also flexible and understanding that little Johnny or little Susie may not get the playing time that they would on the recreational side. Because on the recreational side, we promote equal playing time on both offense and defense. Where within our competitive division and our teams, we're very transparent and advising our families that with these games, and as you know, when you go to an NFL flag regional, those games are very quick. You're playing 2 12-minute halves, which are in sense half the time of a recreational game. Now every NFL flag league might run it differently, but for the most part, most NFL flag leagues for the most part will run 24-minute halves. So if you think of that concept, an NFL flag regional game is half the game of a recreational game, which means that you only have so many opportunities within a regional game to basically make a good impression. It's kind of like the Head and Shoulders commercial. You have one chance to make a first impression. So to kind of elaborate on your question, we want players and families that meet the values of what we're looking for. Obviously, we want athletic elite players, which are very difficult to come by. But we also, at times, we will take players that may not necessarily always be what we're looking for. We're still looking for those families who are committed to the whole concept of what we're trying to achieve at the same time.
That's awesome. And you guys do a terrific job. As somebody who has had the opportunity to coach against you guys, I will also commend your players are some of the better sports. They display some of the best sportsmanship of any teams that we've had the opportunity to play. So they all deserve a heads up and hats off because that's amazing to see. As far as
Thank
the
you.
tournaments that
Thank you,
you guys
Curtis.
do, yeah, you're very welcome. You guys do more than just the NFL flag tournaments. Can you briefly tell me how you prepare for the differences in the rules, such as the rushing and the throw off and stuff like that? The differences, maybe key differences that you guys have to prepare for different tournaments.
Yeah, so thank you. Great question. So our tournament teams are built around the NFL flag regional concept, but we're also flexible enough to do the SHS tournaments that you had mentioned with the throw-offs. And we feel that those are additional tournaments that just give our families, our athletes more opportunities to face really tough competition. So all of the tournaments that we do, Curtis, are basically utilize to prepare overall for the regional tournaments. So, for example, most of the SHS tournaments we've done, those are mostly done over the summertime, but we use those as just ways to continue helping our players grow for the next upcoming, tournament season. And basically, what we really try to do is the way we prepare all of our teams is, we want to have coaches who understand the vision of what we're attempting to achieve, but at the same time, make sure that all of the players understand that, look, our mindset is we go into every tournament with the expectation of winning, but at the same time, we also understand that if we lose, we also want to be gracious, in losing as well too. So we look at each tournament as opportunities, for growth. So, for example, besides for the fall season, we're preparing for the fall regionals as we speak, but at the same time, we're also looking at some local tournaments as well too. One of the tournaments we're looking at doing is hosted by the Rossford Dome, which is Toledo Dirty Birds. They have a tournament called the Turkey Bowl, and then Brave Performance hosts a tournament the day after Christmas called the Santa Bowl. And then because our league is part of the RCX family of leagues, even though we're independent, we are also potentially looking at, if we can get it worked out, we haven't completely decided, we are looking at potentially doing the Ford Field tournament that they have as well in December. So we approach each tournament as opportunities to grow. We want to go there to win, but at the same time, we go to each tournament just to try to use those as just great experiences, because the one thing I've learned, Curtis, is that the more tournaments you play, it allows you to see what areas you need to work on. It also shows what areas that you're doing very well on. But the really nice thing about these tournaments and the competition that we face, we have found that it's only going to help you grow, and you have to have the mindset of saying, hey, we're going into this tournament, we want to win, but at the same time, you also have to be realistic and knowing that, hey, we may not win this tournament, but we can say, what can we use from this tournament as a way to work on our areas of opportunity?
That's absolutely excellent. And I tell you, we did last year, we were involved in the Game on Cancer tournament, the one that you're referring to at Ford Field. And that is an excellent experience. I sure hope that you guys in Stealth get the opportunity to do that, because that is a really fun tournament. Those tournaments that are helping you prepare, are you guys doing any of the fall regionals? Are you going to hit Cincinnati or Indianapolis?
Yeah, so ironically, I'll just go ahead and share this with you right now. We Today was the deadline to register for the early bird special, and I will tell you, we haven't even told everybody else to know. You're one of the first ones to know this. Yes, we are sending multiple teams to the Cincinnati regional, which ironically is also a super regional. And so, as you know, a super regional means that, well, super regionals make you a little nervous, because that means that anybody can, from anywhere across the country, can come into a super regional. But at the same time, you can't be afraid of a super regional, because no matter what, if you win a regional, you're going to face those teams no matter what at the summer championships anyway. So you might as well go ahead and play them now and have that experience. So yeah, so we're really excited. We're excited. We're going to be sending multiple teams, to the regional, and we're excited about going to Cincinnati, because this is the first time that we've sent any teams to Cincinnati. We couldn't do it last year because it was a mini regional and you could only send certain teams to that. So with this one, we can send more teams and everything. So we're excited about that. So we are looking to go to the Cincinnati one, and then we're also looking at the Chicago and Indianapolis regional. So those are the three regionals that we plan on attending in the fall.
Is excellent, and best of luck to you guys, and I hope that you guys do qualify. Maybe you don't know, and I'll share some news with you today. We, as HSFA Flag, are going to start releasing our rankings based solely off of the NFL Flag Championships. So we will start doing a top 10 per age group. So hopefully you guys get qualified and can crack the top 10 in one of the rankings. That would be really cool to have you on there. One more thing, man, and then I'm going to let you go, because I know you got a lot to get to. We're just going to bounce back to Great Lakes flag football, because I just want to touch back on it. Thank you so much again for joining me. But where do you see this going 5, 10 years? Do you have that left in you? Are you going to pass it along to somebody else, or are you going to stick with this thing until you see it through?
I want to stick this out for as long as possible. Obviously, there are plans that I want to get my kids involved. The beautiful woman that I'm dating, her name is Susie. She's my league administrator. Her kids are also involved with the league. All the kids are in 3 out of the 4 kids are in college, and so my goal is to eventually pass the torch along. In terms of expansion, once I feel that I feel very solidified with, in our market right now, there are some potential. I have thought about potential expansion down the line. Nothing at the moment, but anything can change based on what's going on in the market. But my main goal is at this point, when I think about 5 to 10 years from now, it's just to continue having a presence in the community, growing the league, making an impact on the community. We're very involved in our communities that we serve. And one thing I do want to say too, Curtis, is that we also have had families and sponsors who have come in that have donated funds to our league, and we've used those to turn around, and we've given out some scholarship registrations in our league. And so what we want to be able to do from a long-term perspective is that we want people to know that we are here to serve the community. We want to continue, when someone thinks about getting their child into sports, we want them to think about our league in terms of just someone that they may never have played a sport. And the environment that we create in our league, Curtis, is, and I would love for you to come out one week if you ever get a chance, is that I have taken everything that I've learned when I was in other NFL flag leagues and utilize those things and then put a personalized touch into our league and to create a family environment. And so I'm very heavily involved in our league on a week to week basis. And one of the things that I have been told by many of our families is I want people to know that if you have an issue, you can call me, you can text me. If I don't get back to you right away, I will get back to you. So when you're asking me about the 5 to 10 years, as much as I do want to expand, and that is a great thing, I also don't want to lose the personalized touch, because it's always great to expand, and it's not always about trying to make money. It's about building those relationships. So I care about the relationships that I build within the families in our community. And right now, that's my goal right now, is to continue building relationships, making impacts on families. And it's a great feeling when you have a mom or dad that will call you up, or they'll call you and say, you know what, if it wasn't for your league, my child would not have, your league was the positive thing that was going on in their life. And you don't know what's going on in someone's life. And so it's nice when you get nice feedback from family. So my long-term goal for right now is to continue having a presence in the community. Obviously, we want to be competitive at these tournaments, but my bread and butter is to continue having a focus and a presence in the communities that we serve through our league.
You are absolutely awesome. And I just want to tell you that your energy is contagious, man, because I reached out to you because of who you are. So, as somebody who didn't know you aside from flag football, I want to let you know that what you're doing is working, and you are incredible. And I appreciate you. Can't thank you enough for joining me.
And thank you. And I just want to tell you, Curtis, I appreciate you also being patient with me within with my schedule. And I just want to tell you, I definitely look forward to potentially doing more of these. And I just want to say to you, thank you for the work that you're doing as well too, because you're definitely making a impact. I've been watching a lot of your work. I saw your latest top 10 briefly when I was at work, and I'm going to go back on there and comment on that. But I just want to tell you, outstanding job with the work that you're doing. And I know you also have a son that's playing, and I want you to know, wish him much success, and also personally to your family. And I just want to say, continue doing the amazing job that you're doing. And I will tell you again, I'm very humbled. I'm very humbled and thankful and honored that you asked me to be on this podcast. And I just want to let you know from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate what you're doing, and thank you for having me as a guest today.
Very welcome, Sean. Thank you so much. And the feeling is so mutual, man. And we are absolutely going to do this again soon. Okay. Take care.